station is now fully operational. Engine 2 is now located here in the station. It was previously at headquarters on Lower Broadway across Foss Park. It's come a long way from the build-out, which started early this year, and it's now a fully functional fire station. We have a meeting room that can be used for post-incident analysis training and just work on any training-related videos. We got a captain's room or officer room. This is where all the reports are done and the officer stays during the day. This hallway leads us down to the locker room for each one of the firefighters. They can keep their gear during the day, and then into the kitchen. You know, we work here 24 hours, so we live here, we sleep here, we eat here. So having a kitchen like this is great. This is one of our bunk rooms. There are 4 bunk rooms. There's the officer room and then 3 firefighter rooms. So at any time, there's going to be 3 or 4 firefighters working here. So we have a really nice, fully functional gym, pretty much everything that you would need to get a good workout in. Being physically fit and strong is a very important part of being on the fire department, and this provides us a way to do that and continue to be healthy. This is our turnout room. This is where we keep all of our gear. It's stored in here so that this is the only area that we're going to be storing PPE, so that anything that maybe is on the gear doesn't get into our living quarters. Something like this is really important given that we work in a high hazard environment, and when we have an incident like a fire and we have to wash our gear, we're able to come in here and then proceed into this decon room that was created for us. It's sort of a clean room that allows us to take our gear, put it in a special gear washer, wipe off our hands and face of any hazmats or chemicals that may be on us from whatever incident we were at. And then we're able to go into a decon shower. NFPA suggests that we shower as quickly as possible once we return from a fire scene so that we can be as safe as possible getting all the chemicals off. We have lockers here, extra set of clothes that once we shower, we can go back into the living quarters with clean clothing. If someone comes to the fire station to alert us about an emergency, we have a notification doorbell here that will alert in the station, whether it's a medical emergency, some other incident, fire, car accident, so we can be notified. This hallway here is public space. This is the front desk and will be staffed during certain hours. There's also a public restroom here as well. So this whole area is open to the public. So we're in the first bay. The second bay is for reserves or our spare apparatus. And then the third bay is the auxiliary. In the winter, we could house Marine 1, which is our boat. We could probably fit the boat in for the winter time once it gets pulled out of the Mystic. There are 2,400 residential units here. There's upwards of 30,000 resale customers that come in and out of the stores and restaurants on a daily basis. There's also a Orange Line T-stop. There's corporate offices for Mass General and Puma. There's lab space that's being built out. It's only going to be growing. Assembly has become a city within a city, and time in emergency services is vital, and the fact that we are now here is going to help us protect the city and save more lives. We are the out-of-town company, so we provide mutual aid to surrounding cities. So we have easy access to a lot of the cities that we provide mutual aid for. We can jump right on the Fellsway, and we could be in Everett, Chelsea, Charlestown within minutes. So this is the big divider. Like, you got 93 running through the city, and this sort of divides Assembly from the rest of the city, which is sort of creates Assembly to be sort of an island, which made it very difficult for us to respond from headquarters in a timely manner. Navigating Somerville is difficult with a fire truck, but all of our firefighters are highly trained to be able to navigate through the city safely, but also getting there as quick as possible. This is McGrath Highway 28. During rush hour traffic, this is backed up all the way to Broadway. Once we are able to navigate through this light safely, you run into more traffic coming underneath the underpass here. And as you can see from here, it's a 2-lane highway. There's really nowhere for cars to go. So we'd have to navigate here through lights and sirens and sort of just wait for the flow of traffic to make it through the light at the end of the Fellsway here. We could be of lights and sirens here, and people don't know, are you going straight? Are you taking a right? People panic. It's understandable because they don't know if you're going straight through these lights. You know, you can have your signals on, but when your lights are on and your siren's on, people react differently. And with this much traffic and this sort of confusing traffic pattern, people don't know which way to pull over. People are usually pretty good. You know, you see a fire truck, they see the lights, they do the best they can. But when you can't move because of traffic, there's not much you can do. Now you try to keep your responses to any part of the city to around 4 minutes, but during high traffic times, that's not a possibility coming from headquarters to Assembly. And then, as you can see, there's a lot of high-rise buildings. You have to go up maybe 15, upwards of 20 floors to actually get to the emergency. So the time saved being in Assembly is vital. We got every type of commercial business you could think of, typically on the bottom, on the first floor, and then you have residential above. You have Encore across the Mystic. There's going to be a footbridge, which is going to bring more people into Assembly. The majority of our calls are medical calls. Every medical call that you can think of. Cardiac issues, seizures, overdoses, typically at least once or twice a day for any number of medical emergency. You could have heat emergencies in the summer, dehydration, heat stroke. In the winter, you're going to have emergencies like your hypothermia, if people are outside and exposed to the elements, your slips and falls, elderly population. Other than medical emergencies, you have a number of car accidents, you have a number of gas calls, whether it's gas in the street, you have CO incidents, which could stem from bad water heater, bad boiler, bad stove. CO detectors go off, we get called to shut down the appliance and vent out the apartment and assess any inhalation injuries, toxic injuries that those individuals may have. Being a very dense city as it is, we respond to a number of fires during the year. There's been 3 or 4 large fires in the past couple months that we did very well at. There was a couple people that were saved from the North Street apartments. It was an amazing job done by all the companies that responded to that incident. In the summer, you're going to be dealing with a lot of heat stress. I know we had a fire recently this summer where it was 96, 97 degrees. They were there for 4 or 5 hours. So the amount of heat stress that you're getting from being at an incident like that, you have the fire, you're wearing all of your protective gear. That's extremely difficult situation to keep everyone hydrated and rested. In the winter, you're dealing with icy conditions. So any water coming off of your hoses is going to get into the street. It's going to freeze. Now you have ice, right? Your ladders are going to be placed down on the ground. That could be on top of snow, on top of ice. Any water gets on the ladder and becomes much more dangerous. Roofing operations in the summer can be really hot. I was up on a flat roof earlier this summer where there was solar panels on fire. It didn't take long to knock the fire down, but I was out of gas quickly because of the heat that is up there. But in the winter, if you're on a sloped roof, trying to cut a hole in the roof and there's snow, it becomes much more dangerous operation. So kind of pick your poison. So you guys have seen the station. It's now fully functional. Engine 2 is now down here. We used to be housed at headquarters. As I had said before, it's a city within a city, and it definitely requires an engine to be down here in this area. So the fact that we're here is vital.